Hey guys, welcome back. Now, wouldn't it be great if we had a way to turn $100 into 1,000 or even 100,000 into a million? Well, in the stock market and with traditional index fund investing, where we invest monthly using compound interest, we might get to a million in about 30 or 40 years. Well, one of the biggest benefits, and one that's drawing in millions of people into crypto from all around the world, is that we can now get a lifetime of investment gains in just a couple of years. Now, obviously, with higher returns comes higher risk, so risk management should always be front of mind. And so, in this video, we're going to be looking at the one thing to look for to quickly see if an altcoin has what it takes to 5, 10, or 20x. Then what not to do, as this is something that many people do, and it's one of the best ways to lose all of your money very, very quickly. And then the criteria that I look for finding an altcoin that can 10 or 20x while keeping the risk as low as possible. And then we'll finish up with the altcoins that I chose myself for the big bull market in 2024 and 2025. Now, this is quite a comprehensive video as it's a very serious topic. We're talking about investments which have a legitimate chance of creating life-changing amounts of money in just the next couple of years. So it's something that I take very seriously, and of course, none of us want to lose any money. Okay, first up, one of the most important factors, and it's a great way to pre-qualify coins and tokens to see if they have what it takes to 10 or 20x in the next big bull market cycle. And so the first thing that I look for when pre-qualifying any coin or token to see if they could 10 or 20x is not actually the current price, which is what most people will be looking at. It's actually the market cap, as this is a much better reflection of how big this digital asset is and how much money it's going to take to double the price, as it's not an exact science, but if it's got a market cap of around 25 billion, then to double this digital asset, it's going to take about 25 billion. Not exactly, but very, very close. So this means for Bitcoin to double, then it's going to take about $725 billion. So a massive amount of money just to double, where if we went down and looked at something in about position 52, something like Algorand, this market cap is only 1 billion. So for this to double in price, it's going to take roughly about 1 billion. So for this to 10x and goes to 10 billion, it's only going to take about 9 billion. So in general, the larger the market cap, the harder it is to get multiples. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are your blue chips. These are the big safe bets still. Bitcoin definitely being the safest. But for that safety, it's going to take a lot of money to get multiples. Now, Bitcoin may get to $1 million in price, but it's not going to do that in the next market cycle. We're just looking at the next 1 to 2 years. And in the next 1 to 2 years, it's going to be very hard for Bitcoin to grow 10 times. And so just bear in mind, if you're looking for a 5x or a 10x or a 20x, you're going to have to head further down the risk curve and go for these smaller projects. And this is why something like Solana is becoming very, very popular, because at a $23 billion market cap, just to get to where Ethereum is today is about a 10x. And then as you head further down, something like Avalanche, which is only about 7 billion, this can grow 3 times and it's still only about as big as Solana is right now. And one of the ones that I picked was Ethereum's layer 2 optimism, which at the time was just about $1 billion when I first invested. So something like this can grow 10 times to 10 billion, which is only the size of about Tron or Toncoin today. And you've already got a 10 times increase. And this is not even taken into account where some of these are going to be in the next 1 to 2 years. Now, moving on to what not to do. What a lot of people will do is they'll take a look and find out what are the cryptos that are going mental and popping off and growing massively right now. Like just in the last 24 hours, we have Terra Classic up 44%. We have Axie Infinity up 10%, or in the last week, we've got Blur that's up 50%. And people will look at what is hot right now and then jump in. But the problem is, if you're just chasing the winners tomorrow or the next day or next week, these will be the biggest losers. So this is a very quick way to lose your money, is chasing what's hot right now. So I'd say it's something to be avoided. So what is the best thing to do? Well, it's to find the protocols, the coins, the tokens that have strong fundamentals. And here is my criteria. There are 4 websites that I look at to see which coins and tokens have the best fundamentals, the best chance to find the winners, and keep your risk to a minimum. First up, we are going to look at DeFi. So DeFi is decentralized finance, and there's a great website called DeFi Llama, and if we go to chains, then we can actually see the protocols right now that are making a big impact in decentralized finance, and this is sorted by total value locked. So how much money have they got in DeFi? And what we want to look at, obviously the ones at the top, these are the ones that have got billions of dollars locked away in DeFi. So I think it's the top 5 that are in billions. So names already that are beginning to pop out: Ethereum, Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, and Polygon. And in my Ethereum video, I covered why Ethereum is still so dominant. This one has got $26 billion locked away, which is almost 4 times larger than number 2. And not only that, if we just look at the top 10, we have Ethereum, we have Ethereum, we have Ethereum, we have Ethereum, and Base is also built on Optimum, so that's Ethereum. So in the top 10, Ethereum is covering 5 of the 10. So for me, DeFi clearly shows Ethereum being dominant. So remember these names, we've covered the top 5, and we also have Optimism, Avalanche, Solana, Kronos, Base, Bitcoin, and Cardano. So make a mental note of these. Next up, we are going to look at developers. Now, developers, this is also something that I call smart money, as when we look at cryptos and digital assets, be honest with yourself, do you really understand the protocol, how it works, all of the technicals inside and out? As retail investors, most of us haven't got a clue, but guess who does have a clue? It is the developers. These people actually understand the protocols inside and out. And would it be useful to see which protocols are attracting all of the developers and which protocols are actually losing developers or don't have really any developers? Well, a great website called developerreport.com, and if we scroll down, we can actually see the protocols that have the most active developers. And again, what names jump out? Well, number 1, again, we have Ethereum. And this is beginning to show why Ethereum is my personally largest position. Ethereum, for full-time developers, has almost 2,000 developers. this is 3.5 times larger than just the next one. So Ethereum is attracting the most developers by a country mile. Now, what names pop up here? Number 2, we have Polkadot. So not one that I often hear a lot about, but the fact that it's got 600 full-time developers is a massive plus. Again, what jumps out, Cosmos. Didn't show up in DeFi, however, 460 full-time developers. Then Bitcoin, obviously number 1, Solana looking very good, Polygon, Kusama, Starknet, BNB, Cardano, and Avalanche. Now there's many more, but now we start to get less than 100 developers. So obviously the more developers the better, but these are going to be your strongest choice. Next up, we need to take a look at the chains that are actually being used in applications. So this time we're heading on over to DApp Radar, and this is all about dApps. dApps being decentralized apps, or more simply, just applications or apps. And this time we're going to sort it by the last 30 days, so in the last month, and we've sorted it by number of applications. So this is something really useful to know. How many applications are being used by the protocol, and this time it's BNB, Binance, that is number 1. BNB is being used by over 5,000 applications. Great to know. Ethereum number 2, over 4,000 applications. Then the names that jump out, again Polygon, again Tron, EOS surprisingly shows up with almost 600 applications. We have Avalanche again, Phantom again, Arbitrum again, and Wax. So this is your top 10. Now we could also sort by number of transactions, and this is being dominated by Solana, or the actual volume, the dollar value going through these applications. And this time Ethereum being number 1. So this is very useful to know which protocols are actually being used and are creating a strong network effect. Now, next up, we are going to take a look at actual customers. So obviously the protocols that actually have customers are definitely more valuable. So this time we're heading over to Token Terminal, and we're going to sort it by active daily users. Okay, so when it comes to actual users, again, which names jump out? Well, Tron again showing up with 1.2 million daily active users, which is great. This time we have a brand new one, Nia is showing up. So this is looking great for Nia. BNB again, Bitcoin again, Polygon again, Ethereum, Starknet, Arbitrum, Solana, PancakeSwap, Ronin, Uniswap, Optimism, and Base before it starts to tail off. So again, what you'll notice is that the same names jump out. So actual users is very useful. And then finally, last but not least, so this is something else that is very useful, and this was one of the latest ones that hit in November, and it was that JP Morgan was going to be testing tokenized portfolios on Avalanche. So the team at Avalanche to be able to go in and create partnerships with one of the biggest, most influential banks that has ever existed is very important. And it's one of the reasons why I invested in Avalanche. Others that have popped up recently, we saw that Solana had made a partnership with Visa to widen USDC payment capability. So Visa partnering with Solana is very good for Solana. Now, one of the protocols that I think probably wins the crown for partnerships, and that is Polygon. Polygon have been doing incredible work over the past couple of years. Check out some of the brands working with Polygon. We've got Facebook and Adobe and Starbucks and Dolce & Gabbana and Instagram and Adidas and Mercedes-Benz and just on and on and on and on. So this is great for Polygon. Now, I could spend the next hour going through partnerships with the various protocols, but obviously you're going to have to go and do your own research. But you want to make sure that your chosen crypto or digital asset is able to make partnerships with the rest of the world. And lastly, for those interested, using my criteria, this is the portfolio that I ended up with. And the first thing you'll notice is that there isn't any Bitcoin, which is quite controversial. But the big idea behind this is that in 2021, when the crypto market was racing up and exploding higher, altcoins was the place to be. But as we were setting all-time highs and the 4-year cycle was coming to a close, this was the time to convert into Bitcoin, because the big risk is then down. And obviously in 2022, one of the biggest crashes in crypto's history, if you were only going to hold one coin or token, the best thing would be Bitcoin, as it minimized your downside. So Bitcoin was the place to be. Then still this year in 2023, when there was a lot of uncertainty and fear and doubt about whether it's going to crash lower, whether it's going to come back, this year Bitcoin, from a risk-adjusted point of view, was the best place to be. And 2023 has been a great year for Bitcoin. However, we're now looking at 2024 and 2025. And again, the risk is now going to the upside. So the risk is not being in something that can capture the upside. So for me, this is a portfolio for 2024 and 2025. So with that being said, the largest position, as you see, is Ethereum, because as you saw in the criteria, Ethereum is still very, very dominant. And then this ties into the layer 2, which is Optimism, built on Ethereum. And one of the main reasons for Optimism is because they were chosen by Coinbase. Coinbase obviously is going to have one of the most knowledgeable teams in the business, and when they were launching their layer 2, they looked at many different protocols, and the one they chose was Optimism. So I piggybacked on the back of that knowledge, and also, as I mentioned at the time, it was about a 1 billion market cap. So for this to 10 or even 20x is a real possibility. Speaking of Coinbase, I also took out a nice good position in Coinbase. This is the stock coin, but I view it as a crypto, because if crypto goes up, Coinbase will go up. If crypto crashes, Coinbase will crash. It's pretty much all tied in. And also in the UK, this was placed in an ISA. So any gains that happen in the next couple of years will all be completely tax-free. So this is very exciting to see what's going to happen with Coinbase. And then I'll simply convert this over to an S&P index fund. And for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, this is completely tax-free. Then Solana was also chosen for the reasons mentioned. And the last one just made was Avalanche. With a $7 billion market cap, this can 3x just to get the same size of Solana is today. And obviously making partnerships with people like JP Morgan is a massive benefit. So all in all, this wraps up this very comprehensive video. And let's finish up with a summary. So there you are, guys. That was a comprehensive guide on why market cap is more important than price, what not to do when looking at altcoins, and the criteria that I use to give yourself the best chance of finding the winners while keeping the risk of loss down to a minimum. And that being, does it have a good standing in DeFi right now? Has it attracted a lot of developers? Is there a lot of applications? Has it attracted a lot of actual users? And has the team managed to make, or have they already got, a good set of partnerships? Now, to finish, just note that it doesn't mean these can't also disappear for whatever reason, but it does just give us the best chance of finding a winner. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some massive winners that weren't covered in this video, and also some of the protocols like Chainlink don't fit these criteria, and they still can be massively successful. And so obviously mixing in some of your own specialized knowledge on the market will also be helpful. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, if you got any questions or comments, or you want to shill your favorite altcoin for the next big bull market cycle, then simply comment below. But just remember, to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments, we are trying out the new Superthanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use Superthanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.